You are traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of color and shapes, but of texture, a journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of your console's hardware. That's a signpost up ahead, your next stop, 3D Beat 'em Ups!
Or as we like to call them, Threet Em Ups. Classic-style beat 'em ups that use primitive 3D graphics in an attempt to modernize the genre.
It didn't work. Threet 'em Ups never really took off, and you're about to see why, as we review two of our favorites, and one that, well, sucks.
In 1997, Sega released Die Hard Arcade on the Saturn.
She ain't got no money, her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free. Oh, boy, love knows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me.
It's a 3D beat 'em up loosely based on Die Hard, the movie. Okay, very loosely based. In fact, you could say that the game bears no resemblance to the movie at all.
And you'd be right. The only thing this game shares with Die Hard the movie is the title. The similarities end there.
Just look at the story. Terrorists have kidnapped the president's daughter. Remember when that happened in the movie? I sure don't.
You don't even play as John McClane, just some guy named Bruno and a butch policewoman.
The graphics were obviously made before circles were invented, and the control is pretty much what you'd expect from primitive 3D beat 'em ups. Terrible.
Even though this is a 3D game, your character can only face left or right. So while you have bad guys attacking you from every direction, you can only fight the one standing right next to you.
You can either punch or kick, and occasionally hitting both will do some sort of combination move, but there's really no technique to it. It's basically a button masher.
The primitive graphics and awkward 3D control make it tough to beat, and any Game Shark codes we use seem to mess everything up.
But fortunately, there's an old school Sega arcade game you can play to earn extra credits called Deep Scan.
Clearly, it's the most exciting arcade game ever. Not.
If you suffer through a few monotonous levels of Deep Scan, you can eventually build up enough credits to beat Die Hard Arcade. If you're playing with a friend, make sure to get double the amount you think you'll need, because you both share credits.
By the way, there's an option in the menu to turn the violence off. Turn the violence off? How can there not be any violence in a beat 'em up? What do you do to the enemies when the violence is turned off? Shake their hands? Hug them? High-five them?
Anyway, if you get enough credits, you can play through to the end and watch all of the brief, abrupt cutscenes. Some of them are so short, if you blink, you'll miss them.
Then you can fight the boss, who appears to have a portrait of Elton John behind his desk.
Overall, this game is pretty underwhelming, but it does have some redeeming qualities. For one, the music is awesome.
And you can pick up a lot of cool weapons, like guns and bazookas. There's just something so satisfying about using a bazooka to shoot one guy.
You can even pick up a can of hairspray and a lighter and make your own homemade blowtorch. Creative.
In 1999, Sega tried their hand at Threet Em Ups once again, with Dynamite Cop on the Sega Dreamcast.
It's pretty much exactly the same as Die Hard Arcade, but with marginally improved graphics.
Once again, terrorists have kidnapped the president's daughter, a homely young lady in a French maid's uniform. But this time, the terrorists are these weird pirates who dress up in bizarre costumes.
You got guys dressed up like crabs, guys dressed up like sharks, wild natives, and then the main boss who appears to be half man, half hermit crab or something.
Who is he, Davy Jones? Come to think of it, his ship does remind me of the Flying Dutchman. And we fight a kraken. Then we've got dudes dressed up like sea creatures. What is this, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, the video game?
Another puzzling thing about this game is that whenever your characters take damage, some of their clothes come off. The less energy you have, the less clothes you have on. So by the time you're almost dead, you're literally down to your drawers.
Like Die Hard Arcade, Dynamite Cop is basically a button masher. You punch and kick, and sometimes the two will combine for other awesome moves, but there's still no technique involved.
There's also these timed action sequences where it tells you to press a certain button, but the graphic always shows you a red button. So your first instinct is to hit the red button on your Dreamcast controller, which is almost always the wrong one.
My thumb automatically goes for that red button every time, and we end up getting our asses kicked.
The best part is that you can pick up just about anything and use it as a weapon. furniture, food, arcade cabinets, even people.
The hairspray lighter combo is back, along with some other fun stuff, like a pepper shaker that makes people cough.
There are 3 different missions, but they're really all the same mission: rescue the president's daughter.
She gets kidnapped by the same hermit crab guy, just in 3 different ways.
Just like in Die Hard Arcade, you have the option to earn extra credits in an old school arcade game called Tranquilizer Gun, which came out the same year as me, 1980.
In Tranquilizer Gun, you go around shooting zoo animals and carting them off in a truck for unknown reasons, and it's just as exciting as Deep Scan.
At the end of the game, you take down Hermit Crab Man and save the president's daughter, who then forces you to fight each other to the death while she does this goofy dance with a monkey. We are not making this up.
We've given up trying to make sense of these 3D games. It just gives us headaches.
Now let's talk about one more Threet Em Up, Fighting Force, released in 1997 on the PlayStation 1.
We're only mentioning this game because it was originally developed as Streets of Rage 4, and would have been the final installment in our favorite video game series of all time.
However, differences with core design caused Sega to pull the Streets of Rage name, and Core repackaged it as Fighting Force.
All I can say is thank God Sega wouldn't allow this travesty to bear the Streets of Rage name. It's a disaster of a beat 'em up.
It does everything wrong. The control is bad, the music, what there is of it, is bad, the graphics are bad, the moves are non-existent, there's absolutely no story at all, and there are no cutscenes. What happened here? It's like the game isn't even finished.
When people criticize beat 'em ups as being bland and repetitive, this is what they're talking about. This game is so boring, playing it just makes me think about all the other things I could be doing with my time.
It's a beautiful morning.
What are we doing?
Huh?
We're wasting our lives. This isn't living.
We should do something exciting. We should go out and see the world!
Yes, the world. Let's go out and live.
Let's do it! Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Watch out, world! Here we come!
Beautiful morning. Each bird keeps singing his own song.
World sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. Hey! You wanna play Fighting Force?
Yeah.
Let's do it! Well, that's it for our foray into the third dimension. For rail shooters, it's awesome, but for beat 'em ups, we recommend keeping it 2D.
Stay tuned for our next episode and we'll return to our 2D roots.
We should do something exciting. We should go out and see the world!
Yes, the world. Let's go out and live.
Yes!
You're supposed to come with me.
No. We're going out the door.
We will.
That sucks.
The world sucks. Wait, where's the game?
Are you ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Let's go. Heck out of here. Here we come. World, here we come. Watch out, world, here we come.
Yeah,
That's
that works.
good.
Teddy did it!